My fish fam, it's Nikachu, Merfolk Master. Today we're going to be playing Modern Merfolk. I have been playing some Modern, and it's quite interesting actually because I'm not seeing a lot of Boros energy anymore. I think there's a lot of decks in the format that are taking it, maybe not to the cleaners, but giving it a run for its money. And honestly, I think that's good for Modern Merfolk. I think that's great, and we can maybe pick up the pieces versus the other decks. So what have I been experimenting with? The first one is I'm not playing with any Island Walk at all. I don't like Tide Shaper. I honestly don't even like Harbinger of the Seas. Like, it doesn't kill Urza Saga, so you don't have, there's like no Harbinger of the Seas in this entire deck. I find that it's really hit or miss even against the Eldrazi decks because it's not so easy to mana screw them anyway. They got basic forests. They have, Sowing Miko Spawn will find lands. They've got mana ramping artifacts. So I'm trying to live without it. Okay, I'm trying to live without Island Walk. I did add some Master of the Pearl Tridents to my deck. Originally I had none of them in my playtesting, and then just trying to muscle it out with Mirror Regery. So between Mirror Regery and copying it with Glasspool Mimic, you flash something in like Hexcatcher, you tap down their creatures, and you attack, which was great against everything except one type of deck, and that was the blue decks for some reason, like against the Esper mid-range decks, because like it's very hard to keep a creature. It's hard to amass a very big board, and there was a lot of games where if I just ripped the Master of the Pearl Trident, I would just win the game. So we're going to go back to that, aren't we? I think the key to the format right now is to have a lot of things you can do with 1 mana. So we've got 3 Aether Vial, we have 2 Consigned to Memory, we have 4 Mindspring Merfolk, 3 Mistcaller, 2 Stern Scolding, 3 Dismembers. This adds up to 5, 9, 12, 14... 17 things to do for 1 mana. I think that's great. I think that's very good. I want to reduce the amount of times that I have to 2-for-1 myself against almost every single deck. Because like it's so attrition-like right now. I mean, if you're up against the Esper mid-range deck, you don't want to be 2-for-1ing yourself too much with like subtlety because you really have to be killing your opponent at the same time. I want to 1-for-1 as much as possible. So other adjustments, we're not playing with many basic lands because honestly I don't even see that many Blood Moons in the format. Like, some versions of Boros Energy have Blood Moon, some don't, and for the most part they are not going to really want to risk bringing Blood Moon against you because it may not work and it might mana screw themselves. So I want to maximize on Gloom-like Verge so that we can reduce the amount of damage that we're taking from our Dismembers. So anyway, it's more of a Harbinger of the Seas metagame than a Blood Moon or Magus of the Moon metagame. So I think we're willing to take that risk. Consigned to Memory, I think, is just main deckable. Like, every single deck that plays blue, and some decks are splashing blue for it, have 4X in the sideboard. So like, why not have like some of the main deck? I think it's playable versus literally every single deck. Some more impactful than others, but you know. It is what it is. Mindspring, 4 Mindspring Merfolk. I think we can try out Mistcaller. Mistcaller should work favorably versus the Ephemerate decks, because if they try to, let's say they play Solitude, they exile something, and then they want to Ephemerate their Solitude, then you can exile, you can crack Mistcaller, sack the creature, and until end of turn, if a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, it gets exiled instead. So that's going to suck for anything that gets ephemerated. And I believe this also interacts with the Emperor of Bones, because that's also not casting the creature, it's just putting it into play. I better be right about that. Stern Scolding for just Solitude in general and a lot of the cheap creatures in the format. 4 Flood Pits Drowner, mostly as interaction with Mirror Regery, but is also useful versus Hammer, which is going up big time. It's becoming more and more popular. 4 Silver Gill Adept, I actually just want to be on as much card advantage as I can without being too clunky. I was playing with Svaeloon before, just cut out Svaeloon because I didn't want to be too clunky. Hexcatcher, not in love with this card, but a flash speed creature that synergizes with our Regery, and we hold up as much mana as possible without playing into our opponent's hand. I do not want to be tapping out too often. The only time I would do that is with Master of the Pearl Trident, which is strictly there for any matchups where we're up against a blue deck. But sometimes it will still be okay because it's just a random lord on the battlefield to buff up our already big board of stuff. Regery is just a powerful card. So if I want to have a lord on the battlefield, I want it to be Regery, mess up people's mana at flash speed, tap and untap things. I think this is, I just like this card more than Lord of Atlantis and Master of the Pearl Trident combined. You've all seen that in Legacy, I prefer to play Mirror Regery now than the Island Walk Lords, so I'm bringing that to Modern. And 2 Tishana's Tidebinder, flash speed creature, useful. I would say this is a little bit clunky. It's pretty easy to play around, but at the same time, still useful, has a lot of utility to it. 2 Sink Into Stupors, 3 Dismembers. Now, here's an interesting thing about the sideboard. 4 engineered explosives. So one of the biggest problems Merfolk has just recently encountered is that we don't have any good answer to Urza Saga. Like, you either, like, deal with it immediately, like immediately. But if it gets to chapter 2, then it's just going to be making constructs for forever. So you don't want that to happen. So you have to let it go from chapter 2 to chapter 3, which means your opponents made some constructs and they searched for an equipment card. So I think there's several different ways to approach the Urza Saga problem. One of them would be Dress Down. Another one's Hercule's Recall. And I haven't tried this one. This is a new one for me, Engineered Explosives, because that not only deals with the Urza Saga problem, but it's also a pretty flexible card. We could bring this in versus Boros Energy. And I also think it might be useful versus Affinity that's trying to go over the top with a bunch of tokens. So there's multiple cards out there now that are just making tokens like crazy. And I think this would be one answer to it. Because even if you Hercule's Recall them, you'd have to win very quickly, because otherwise they re-spew their hand and make all the tokens again. Engineered Explosives just kills them on the spot. Not to mention, you could, like, bring this in versus Hammer, bring this in. I'm probably siding out Mistcaller versus, like, every matchup I'm bringing this in. So we're not going to get hit too hard if we play Engineered Explosives on 1. We even have the option to play it on 2. All right, it's possible. How many Chalice? We have 2 Chalice here, if anyone wants to know. Also, specifically, mostly for Affinity. Affinity's back, people. Urza Saga got buffed, and they just... Edge of Eternities gave them a ton of useful artifacts. All right, that was a long deck tech. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's get into our Modern League. We won the die roll. Our hand is great. We're going to keep it. We have a nice curve. 1 drops, 2 drops, 3 drops. Flash speed creatures with Rejury. What's not to love? Here we go. Fair Magic the Gathering. The classic. Undercity Sewers. Probably the Esper Blink deck. They put a card on top of their library. Okay, that's Stern Scalding's not bad. So we'll attack for 1. And then we'll just play a land and pass. And if they play, like, say, Psychic Frog, we can Stern Scolding it. If they do nothing, we'll just throw it a Hexcatcher. If they counter it, then there's a Psyche Frog. Okay, Psyche somewhere else. Don't Psyche in front of me. Now, really important... Okay, I didn't actually explain this in the deck tech. There are a lot of 1 toughness creatures in this deck now. Here's a 1 toughness, 1 toughness, 1 toughness, 1 toughness. Most decks, like even the Esper decks... They're not playing with Bowmasters. Bowmasters somehow got pushed out of the format. There are very, very few Bowmaster decks left. So I actually think it's safe to be playing with 1 toughness creatures again, at least temporarily. And I'm just trying to take advantage of this the most that I can. If my deck looks weird and out of the ordinary. Scalding Tarn Pass. Hopefully this is just a bunch of counter magic. Ooh, a Lord. I'm not going to play it into counter magic, though. Let's just attack. Yeah, probably just attack. All right, take 4. Pass Roonies. What do you want to do here? Oh, you want a Swamp Cycle. Okay, you can Swamp Cycle. Got a Swamp. Ugh. Where's our Tishanda's Tiebinder? We need him. Like, I don't know how to put it. Nobody plays around that card anymore. So when they get hit, they get nailed so hard. Now, here's a good question. Do I probably want to play this Hexcatcher right now. Okay, I'm going to do it after. I'm going to put a stop at my end step. I'm going to play Hexcatcher after this. I think having a Hexcatcher in play is good. And then we'll have just 2 mana up for a Flood Pits Drowner. Okay, they left a card on top. So let's just get a Hexcatcher in play. Remember, we're playing this at instant speed. Rejury is going to untap a land no matter what. I assume this is going to resolve unless they're... I guess there could have been a Spell Snare. Yeah, so it was not completely risk-free. But I did reduce the most I could to get underneath counter magic. Counterspell specifically. Alright, what's up? You want to Fatal Push this? You want to Fatal Push this, do you? Oh, this is Grixis. Unless it's only in there for the red. Is my board going to get wiped? How about... Okay, well. I better not commit more stuff to the board unnecessarily. We'll counter it. We're going to counter it. Would you like to tap out for... Oh! 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 You want to reanimate something. This is not what I thought it was. So you want to reanimate a Troll of Khazad-dûn? There's an Archon in there. Unearth the Psyche Frog. Okay, that's fine with me. You have a Psyche Frog. And what I'm going to do, end of turn, I'm just going to play Flood Pits, and I'm going to tap the Psychic Frog. Or maybe I could go after the land, and then on my turn I could play Flood Pits, Lord, attack, and tap down this frog anyway. Okay, do you know what? Let's tap the land down. If this gets countered somehow, we can deal with the Psychic Frog later. Okay, they're going to Thought Scour. That's fine. Emperor of Bones. Yeah, this is... I guess it's... Grixis Reanimator. It's a wild new metagame, people. It's a wild new metagame. Okay, can I just win on the spot here? I got a lot of damage. This is 3, 6, 10, 14. That's a lot. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. Let's untap a land here. That's going to be lethal. Unless there's magically something coming out of my opponent's butt. No. Clean 1-0. And I doubt even this type of deck is going to be playing with Bowmasters. But I don't know, maybe it will come, maybe Bowmaster's is going to come back because there's that new Riddler card that draws cards like crazy. Okay, let's look. Do we have any graveyard hate? Nope. In total Nikachu fashion, no graveyard hate. But we do have a Consign to Memory, which should interact with an Archon of Cruelty if it ever comes to it. Stern Scolding should be good. Mistcaller. Oh my god. It's your time, Mistcaller. It's your time. You've been chained for so long. I think we have to still have Dismember, both for Psychic Frog and also for Emperor of Bones. This is a little bit of a, like, Reanimator mid-range deck. I could reduce the number. I sort of want to have Force of Negation, but I don't know for sure if I need that. Activated abilities of creatures can't be activated. That's hilarious. That actually interacts both with Psychic Frog and... Do I play this card? It interact... Oh, but it's going to shut off Mistcaller. It interacts with Psychic Frog and Emperor of Bones. Do I bring that in versus Esper Blink? I never thought about that. There's a bit of a trade-off. Because a lot of our cards, like sometimes the activated abilities on, like this isn't mandatory depending on the matchup. This is an ETB. This is a cast trigger. This is an ETB. This is it has an activated ability, but it can just be an ETB if you want it to. So, like, I don't mind having Cursed Totem in the deck. Okay, but seriously, what do we want? Do we want more Consign to Memories, and what do I get rid of? I have a feeling, I'm not sure, but I have a feeling Silvergill Adept is the weak link here. Maybe even to some extent Hexcatcher. Or maybe I just don't do anything. Deck looks pretty balanced. Deck looks pretty balanced. Like, if we have a Mistcaller on the battlefield, that's going to be better than any counter spell for a lot of these creatures. Let's say no to changing anything. I don't have enough experience versus this very specific deck to say one way or another what I should be doing. So let's just do nothing at all. We do have our Mistcaller hand with an Aether Vial. And if you'll also notice, I only have 3 Aether Vial in this deck because like this deck really depends on getting to 3 mana, and I don't want to flood out on mana sources, so I believe the deck has 22 mana sources, and we're already drawing a bunch of cards with Silvergill Adept. The whole point is, like, get to Silvergill Adept mana, and then have a land up for Dismember, Consign to Memory, Stern Scolding, and so on. Our opponent mulligan to 5. It's 2 thumbs up for us. We don't have a very good hand to interact with Psychic Frog, though, so that's the only disappointing thing. A Psychic Frog hand would be pretty strong. But it looks like we're going to start ourselves off with a Faithless looting. Very faithless. And Harvester of Menace. When this creature enters, other creatures get -2/-2. That's rude. Discard this card, target creature gets -2/-2. And Abhorrent Oculus. That's pretty good on turn 2. Do I forgo the Aether Vial? I think I forgo the Ether Vial on turn 1, because otherwise this is going to be too slow if they plan on reanimating immediately. Like, I could take that, like, holding a vial on 1 would be great, but if they just go for it on turn 1, I'm screwed, right? Like, that's not good for me. Oh, they're reading it. The old pause to read. A classic. An absolute classic. All right. They do nothing. They do nothing. And now... I think I gotta do something. No, maybe I'm gonna do nothing. I'm going to attack and I'll play our Vial, even though it's late. Do it better late than never. And maybe, yeah, I'm just gonna play a Vial off the Mutavault. If we draw an island, then I might want to sink into Stupor like one of these bozos, but specifically the Abhorrent Oculus. Ugh, Oculus is so annoying, so unbelievably annoying. You want to thought seize me? By all means. Oh, you took the Flood Pit Strander. Damn it. Okay, we're gonna Under Your City Sewers. I'm a little surprised. I thought maybe they would take the Master of the Pearl Trident. Okay, left a card on top. They like that card. It was a good card. It was value. Ooh, that's a good card too. Okay, let's start this party off with the Silver Gill Adept. I'll reveal another Silver Gill Adept. You already know about that card. I got a Dismember, which is fine actually. Okay, we're gonna pay 3 life. We're gonna attack for 1. We have maximum information now. So we're good for... We're actually good on reanimation. Except when they reanimate this damn thing. That'll be very brutal. Yes, that resolves. So we're ready for an Oculus if that ever comes up. Is this even a big deal? How big is this? It's a 5/4 menace. That's awkward. Okay, are they going to go for an Oculus? Are they going to go for reanimation? If they go for Oculus, they're dead because they've got like nothing left. Yeah, it looks like they're going for Oculus, which we have the Dismember for. That resolves. You have nothing in hand, so you're not going to get to your turn. Sorry, that's magic. And they just concede completely. All right, very nice, easy W for the Merfolk deck. Let's go get into round 2. Round 2, we lost the die roll. Hand's great. We're going to keep it. It's a hand of lands and interactions. Interactive cards. What to start off with? Let's start off with Island into an Ether Vial. Usually I would start off with Mutavault, but odds are I'm going to want to hold up either like Consign to Memory or something next turn, or even Dismember. And I need the black mana from Gloom Lake Verge to do that. Because like, I'm not going to play any creatures with this hand, right? Thought Scour. Ah, that's a card I haven't seen in a million years. Are we up against the same deck again? Like, the modern metagame right now is so impressionable for the most part. Like, super impressionable. Okay, what do we want to do here? I'll tell you what we want to do here. We actually want to cook... I think we want to cook this frog, make them pay 4 mana to keep it alive, because there's a shot... There's, like, they have such a high chance of getting blown out. Usually they just let the Psychic Frog die. Usually. Not always, but usually. So they could pay 4 cards to keep it alive, but it's so high risk. Like, if they're wrong, they're doomed. So, anyway, they just let it die. It can always come back with an Unearth later. That resolves. It can always come back. We have an Emperor of Bones, an Abhorrent Oculus. We are going to reanimate the Thingamabob. Okay, the Oculus resolves. I'm probably going to have to... counter the first ability at my upkeep. Or do I let it resolve? I don't want it to go on for too long. That's not good. Do you know what? Maybe we'll let our opponent manifest once. Just so I can get this Regery in play, and then I can interact with stuff later. Also, there's a decent chance I'll draw a 2-drop this turn. Which I did. Aha, I can foresee the future. Don't have a good attack right now, though. So we shall do nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm gonna have to Flood Pits it on my next turn. And then we'll just consign the Oculus trigger 1 turn. I also have to hope to draw another card, I think. Oh, you want to smack me with both? How rude. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'll take it. Not the first time I've been hit for 7 damage around here. I mean, assuming our opponent doesn't do anything else, I think we can race, but of course our opponent can do stuff. Okay, so I am not going to put the Flood Pits Drowner in play. Or am I? So if I put Flood Pits Drowner in play, I'll tap down... I sort of want to interact with our opponent's next turn by tapping down the Manifest, so I can attack... Because I can attack this turn for 4, put our opponent down to 11... Otherwise, if I put Flood Pits Drowner in play, I can attack for 7 this turn, put our opponent down to 8. No, I can attack for more because I have the Mutavault. Okay, you know what? Let's do that. That's a huge chunk of damage. Let's hope our opponent doesn't have a removal for the Regery. I don't even know what they could have. Okay, you do not untap. Not easily, anyhow. Yeah, so this actually frees up my mana for the Mutavault. You kill. You want to kill my... Oh yeah, actually I could have went and exiled it. Forgot about that. That was also that's also an option. So I still attack for a huge chunk of damage though. We'll leave this thing on 2. I will cast, counter this. Actually we should take it up to 3 just in case I draw another Regery. / Tashanda's Tidebinder, because I have the... Oh no, I don't have the mana to play a 2-drop. No, I do have the mana to play a 2-drop, except Silver Gill Adept. Because if I play a 2-drop, I untap a land. Okay, so we'll tick this thing up. That's not bad at all, actually. Okay, so we'll play Cavern of Souls, Merfolk. Let's attack for 7. Unfortunately, I don't have an option to make use of this Mind Spring right now. Unfortunately. So we'll double consign the stupid abhorrent Oculus. The flexibility of this stupid card. The flexibility. Well, they didn't have anything great to do last turn. I have no idea what's in their hand. They have nothing to do with red mana. They're missing a mana to play Faithless Looting again. That'll work, okay. So what can you get in the graveyard? You can get a Psychic Frog. I could counter this, but I'm not. You want to get my Flood Pits Drowner. Okay. Okay. I get it. Okay, how long can I hold up this charade? Stupid abhorrent Oculus. Okay. Lord of Atlantis, I really need you right now. I need the power of the Lord of Atlantis. I summon thee. Sorry, Master of the Pearl Trident. I've betrayed the Lord of Atlantis. You're not good in the mirror. Master of the Pearl Trident! That's not it. It's not the worst card in the world, though. Okay, so what I can do... I have a few options. I mean, I could attack with this Mutavault, and there needs to be like a double block. I could do nothing and draw 2 cards off of Mind Spring Merfolk. Because if I attack with Mutavault, I guess they could block with the Manifest creature. No, I guess we're going to do nothing. I just want to draw a bunch of cards. Yeah, we're going to do nothing, draw a bunch of cards. get hit on by a lot. Could be a lot of damage. What, the Flood Pits Drowner is also going to get haste. It's only a 2/2 creature, so in theory, one of these creatures can block it. Like if they throw, let's say they throw out a Flood Pits Drowner, they activate, throw out a Flood Pits Drowner. I can block with Rejury, or maybe not. Maybe this isn't going to work, because maybe they're just going to go wide. Why did 2 counters go on this thing? Oh, it's adapt too. Well, that's rude. That's a funny one to target. Okay, so I can block this, but then I have to take 9. So that's not an option. Take 9 no matter what. So I have to chump block this. It looks like my option is I have to activate Mutavault, then activate the Mindspring Merfolk and turn the Mare Rejury into a 3/3 and the Mutavault into a 4/4. Then I can trade with Emperor of Bones, block a manifest creature, just take 7, Flood Pits goes away, and then figure it out from there. Because otherwise, if I activate... Well, if I can activate for 4, and maybe I draw Tishana's Tidebinder. Maybe I draw another Merfolk that can block something else. Well, I have to chump block the Emperor of Bones, so whatever I find has to chump block Emperor of Bones. And then block one of these, which in that case... No, this Mare Rejury would live, because it's a 3/3. Do you want... Okay, I'm going to go for the higher upside play, because I need a way of winning this game. I'd want to play to dirtle around here. Let's tap everything. It loses a block, so I'm hoping for a 3-drop here. We need a 3-drop. So, Mare Rejury, Tishana's Tidebinder. We got nothing. We got nothing here. So if I chump block, take 9. Okay, we're done. Thank you very much. We came up empty, and we're probably gonna lose that game as a result. How did we sideboard before? We did nothing. Let's stick to that plan. For as long as I know. Mystical Dispute I think is awkward. I don't know what the decks look like. I mean, I know this deck sort of exists, but there's a lot of new decks popping up out of nowhere. There's nothing else in the sideboard, right? There's nothing else. Okay, we're just going to resubmit this. I would say Consigned to Memory is on the weaker end of interaction, but it still works. Do you like to play first? I would love to go first. Still interacts with Emperor of Bones. This is a pretty land-heavy hand, but I'm going to keep it. It does have Vial, has Tishana's Tidebinder. It does have some bounce with Ottawar and Sink into Stupor, so it can be... It can get good. Can get good. Oh, dirty. Dirty, dirty, dirty. There's so much Mystical Dispute in the metagame. So much. I know I went down a Vial, but I definitely went up. Because of that, I went up Cavern of Souls. It's just mandatory. Alright, so soon we'll have our Sink into Stupor and Ottawara. We'll have Sink into Stupor active. I don't know about Ottawara. Can't do anything about Faithless Loading here. Unfortunately. Our opponent digging for lands? Well, apparently not, because they dumped one of them. Unearth? That's fine. Okay, so as you, just like last game, we're going to play Dismember. And if our opponent wants to be brave, okay, so we're going to pay a black here so we don't lose nearly as much life as we normally would. If our opponent decides to dump their hand into this thing, great! We can bounce it with Sink into Stupor. That would be just fine and dandy. Timing, Mindspring Merfolk. What's with the timing? Bad timing. Terrible timing. Okay, I'm not going to play Mindspring Merfolk. I'm going to hold everything up. I'll play it next turn. Probably off of our Ottawar or something. This is Oculus? Was it 6 or 8 cards they need? I never remember. Feels like it's Oculus. It's Oculus. Okay, there's a few ways we can deal with this. The number one way is just sink. We're going to sink this damn thing. Get back to your hand. Okay, we'll probably take the Vial up for Tishana's Tidebinder. There's a lot of 3-drops in this deck too, anyway. And we'll just play a Mindspring Merfolk and pass. And hope it lives. It didn't. It didn't live. The narrator. Narrator, it did not live. Okay, we're just going to pass back and forth. I'm not going to put my Tishana's Tidebinder in play for nothing. Oh, we got a Mutavault. We have pressure. Pressure online, and now that means our Otawara can deal with the Oculus second time around. I'm actually fine with chopping this thing off. Like, it's just going to find one of these Surveil lands, which will just increase the chances. Oh, what the hell? Oh, they're going to kill. They plan on killing my Tishana's Tidebinder. Dude, I don't think I'm going to let that happen. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that is going to happen at all. I can Otawara any card that I want on the battlefield. That includes my Tishana's Tidebinder. You get no Surveil land, you don't get a land, you don't get nothing. And we do still have a Dismember in hand for an Oculus if it ever comes back up again. That's not bad. Attack. Let's be brave. I could also Glasspool Mimic copy that. Yeah. I'll probably just throw a Tishana's Tidebinder out there for nothing. Okay, well, maybe not now. It's awkward now. So awkward. Okay, well, yeah, we're just going to be passing back and forth, I guess. Always know there's no other 3-drops in my deck. That's not bad. Okay, so this time around, we'll tap the island, keep the Cavern of Souls up. Play a Hexcatcher at end of turn. And then maybe we can copy that with Glasspool. Oh, no! No! I didn't mean to do that. Ugh, I'm supposed to snap that thing off. Ugh, that's terrible. So many good things. Now I feel like I'm obligated to play Tishana's Tidebinder like right now. Okay, I'm just gonna let it happen, but that was I was playing. This is a streamer thing, you know, where you're talking and see they should have drawn that Bloodstained Mire. Now they're just drawing one card deeper into something good, the good stuff. Still very far away. From getting anything in play. Okay, we're going to Glasspool Mimic, copy our Hexcatcher. Now we got a little bit of a board here. We got a little bit of a board. We got a little bit of a Silver Gilded up too. I guess we could play it. Okay, let's see what happens here in this interaction here. Opponent takes 8, goes to like almost nothing. Can they fill the graveyard up? It's possible. Okay, I'm just trying to think. Oh no, if our opponent plays Oculus, I'm just trying to figure out like how much can I risk here. I'm just gonna do anything. Just do nothing. Like if I put a Silver Gill Adept in play and they play Anger the Gods or some Kozilek's Return, that'd be so frustrating. That resolves. Yeah, I can't do anything about that. Ooh! But we do have the Tishana's Tidebinder for that. That's gonna happen. You get an Archon of Cruelty. But I have a Tishana's Tidebinder. As the ancient scriptures had foreseen. In fact, you were there. You were there when I bounced this thing back to my hand. I was there, Gandalf. 1 bazillion years ago. So this Oculus normally would work, but we have a Dismember. So it doesn't. Actually, yeah, it actually would have worked because they had enough blockers. Maybe one defensible card to side in would be Counterspell. Could Mystical Dispute? How many blue cards can we hit? Just Psychic Frog and other disputes. What is Stern Scolding hit? Emperor of Bones, Psychic Frog. Yeah, that deserves to be in here. This is the only card I could think of because I don't want to 2-for-1 myself, even against a deck like this. I think we have enough resources to go 1-for-1. You know, don't need to 2-for-1 ourselves versus Oculus. Just need to dismember it. Don't need to 2-for-1 yourself versus Archon of Cruelty. Tishana's Tidebinder it. I want to be on a 1-for-1 route in Modern right now because everyone else is like going way over the top with value, so I want to try to be able to neutralize that value card for card. And Counterspell does do that. Like it's going to answer everything in the deck. On the draw of Consigned to Memory. Is that good enough? You know what? What is this good for? I can hit the Adapt ability. 1 Archon trigger. You know what? Maybe even though it's 1 mana and I really like that 1 mana card, maybe we'll bring in Counterspell. Even though this also runs into what, Consigned to Memory. Pretty lucky we get Ether Vial every game, but then again our opponent can combo off immediately each game. Turn 1 Faithless Looting. I think I heard some people say, no, that's not what they say, but they took the vial. How dare you? How dare you? That was my vial. It was mine to keep. That's why I kept my hand. Okay, so some people say Faithless Looting isn't even the best card in this deck. That's the weird things people say. I have a feeling we're hitting okay, we can't hit an Archon immediately. Emperor of Bones. Okay, only 1 land. What the hell does that mean? That means we go balls to the wall, people. We gotta go Silvergill Adapt. We need to draw interaction now. That's it. We just need to wait 1 more turn. And we're good. They definitely have a hand. They definitely have a hand. Oh, no! Oh, why'd you have to do that? Why did you have to do that? That wasn't necessary. Okay, so I have to keep up Flood Pits the entire time to deal with the Archon in the future. We have several Flood Pit Drowners. This is actually sort of good. We might race. So I can't deal with the first Archon. Does that mean I just pump everything up? I think we play Otawara. Play 1 Mind Spring. Pump everything up and then like... And then like this is our lording effect. So I deal 3 here, but I'm going to deal so much more in the future. Okay, they got the land. They can get an Archon, but they deal with the card for 1 turn. And then we can deal with the Archon every other turn. They're down so... What are they doing? They're at 6 life. What is the meaning of this? They're at 6 life. I thought they were definitely going to reanimate this card. Okay, the hand was a bit sketchy, but you know what? Yeah, with great risk comes great return. In this case, the risk was too damn high. I think we got this in the bag now for the most part. Oh no, you can't. Hold on. Does it count? Put a counter on everything. Activates the ability. Okay. There's like no counter on this saying like which one has used the exhaust. It's like the left one has. It's not like a thing like if it has a counter on it, you can't use the ability. Activate each exhaust ability only once. Like, okay, so which one used it, which one didn't? So here I could again do nothing. Just trying to think. Or I attack for 4, go to 2, you play Archon, lose something, you go to 5, I play Flood Pits, yeah, that's fine. And I have a Mutavault in play. In fact, I can play 2 Flood Pits. That works for me. I don't think there's any way out of this. Fetch for basic. I guess they're going to play an Oculus from hand. There's nothing else you can do here. Unearth the Emperor. Ooh, Unearth Emperor of Bones. That's funny. Okay, so you get... Still get an Archon, I guess. And there's the Archon. This is very funny. Okay, you can adapt. I'm going to discard a card, lose a creature. I'm going to lose... Creature sacks a creature, a planeswalker. Yeah, that's fine. Sack the left one. Discard a card. They gain some life. It's not enough, though. No! Oh, no! I screwed that. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no! Okay, well... Well, let's dump our hand, I guess. They're gonna go to 7. Whoops. This is getting frustrating. Ugh, I just clicked too many times. And again just now. Okay, whatever. We have to... Oh, we're at sacking a creature point. No, I haven't discarded a card yet. Okay, so we're gonna dump the Flood Pits now, because I need the freaking card in my hand. Okay, so this is gonna get exiled. Okay, so I can attack for 4. Or do I just want to draw a bunch of cards? I can draw 3. Because I can play the Sink for 3. Oh my god. It's okay. We just count this as a mental victory, that's all. Like, we spiritually won this game. We spiritually won the game. On paper, I will not. Attack for 2. You attack me back for 4. Or do I... My opponent's called the most unlucky. Well, not in this case. I think I'm lost now. Like, our opponent has 3 mana. Like, they're gonna untap. The whole point was to just attack for victory this turn. And now I can't even do that. Attack for 2. Or do I attack for nothing? And try to draw a bunch of cards? Because I need to probably sink into Stupor. Maybe attack for 2. I sink something, hope to draw, I guess, a Hexcatcher or an Island Walk Lord. Like, that's the only thing I think I can do here. Hope our opponent just, like, sinks all their mana into some play. I sink it, and I draw a 2-mana Lord. Oh, I don't get attacked by Emperor of Bones. Okay, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So we have a few more turns. Oh, and our opponent's at 5 for some reason. Okay, so we can sink this. That's going as planned. Okay. Okay. You can still exile cards? How dare you? Stop it. Those are my cards. Don't touch them. Oh, we got the 2-mana low. We got there. It was the most jank way of winning the game, but we got there. Believe in the heart of the cards. Believe in the heart of the cards, despite all the blunders, all the streaming blunders. All right, we won that match. My opponent said missing the Lando stuff, I imagine, but they kept the hand. They kept the faithless looting 1 land hand with double Thoughtseize. I would thought for sure the way they kept this risky 1-lander that they would have turn 2 unearthed, but it wasn't the case. And our dirtily little creatures, look how important Mistcaller was. You want people to be Thoughtseizing your 1-drops out of your hand. Much better than taking like your other cards like Silvergill Adept and your Flood Pit Drowners and stuff like that. I hope everyone saw the utility of this deck in Game 2, and let's move on to Game 3. Round 3, we lost the die roll. I'm very inclined to mulligan this hand. There are some good things about it, though, in that... So I'm inclined to mulligan on the draw. I would keep it on the play. I'm inclined to mulligan on the draw because we have nothing to do on turn 1, and that is just super dangerous to do in just the metagame right now. I am inclined to keep it. We do have an Island Walk Lord. We also have Mare Reejery, so if Mare Reejery doesn't die, we could make a relatively big comeback. And also, we do have some flash speed creatures to maybe help catch up or catch our opponent off guard. But no guarantees. Are we up against the same deck 3rd time in a row? Did this deck like have five placings and a top 8 or something? what is going on here? That's just how Modern is sometimes. Like, there's gonna be a deck that like had performed well, and now everyone's playing it for like at least a week until people go back to the stock stuff. The stock stuff. Unfortunately, I don't really have a good answer to say a turn 2 Psychic Frog like in the last few games. Okay, what we gonna do? What we gonna do, chat? Chat that's not here with me. The 1 drops on turn 2. Hate him. This thing's a card drawing machine. Okay, we need to draw into our 3rd land drop at the very least. I'll show you a Mass of the Pearl Trident. Oh, I should have shown, sorry. I should have shown Mirror Readery, because that's ideally what I was going to play next turn. That's actually fine. If our opponent goes... Like, if we don't draw our land, we can go Mistcaller into Dismember. That's okay. That's a fine line, too. Opponent's thinking about it. Thinking about it. Modern, so diverse. Oh, they're going to unearth an Abhorrent Oculus. Sort of feels like that's what's in the cards here. Or do you want to turn on an Abhorrent Oculus by discarding your hand or something? 3 cards get exiled. Oh, you want to fly away? What is going on here? But it's fine. I think that their line is fine. Deals damage. Gets around Dismember pretty well. Like they already cashed in a card here. So like Dismembering here is not nearly as powerful as it normally would. Oh boy. What the hell does that mean? Dismember? Well, I can't stop that because I'm not at my 3rd land yet. So we might as well just let it happen. Floodpit Strander's fine. That's not great here. Attack this. So we dismember this. I guess we leave this on blocking duty for now. I'd be happy to exchange with this manifest creature if I'm allowed to. Okay, we play Mistcaller. Decent chance this is gonna get picked off here. Either they have Fatal Push or they have Thought Scour. And they probably don't have Thought Scour because I bet they would have played that on their turn. Yeah. I will snap block this thing, whatever it is. If you let me. I still want to make this thing fly. I think that is sort of silly. Because this is a graveyard deck, and you sort of want cards in your graveyard so that you can... I mean, you know, you can hard cast your Abhorrent Oculus, you know that? And I don't think I'm blocking this thing. So what was revealed? I guess an island? No, that was... oh, it was a Thundering Falls. No, there's Psyche Frog. Come on, lands. I can come back from this. Like, the Psychic Frogs are not that big of a deal, but I do need... I will not win the game with our opponent playing the Classic. They're playing 2 cards a turn. We're only playing 1 card a turn. Or at the very least, we need our Readery out, so that once the Readery is out, then we can start playing like more than 1 card a turn. Okay, we'll Flood Pits this thingamabob. Where there's a Readery, there's a way. That's all everyone needs to know. Where there's a Readery, there's a way. We're not even down that far in life because they've taken so much damage from their own mana base. Come on, land. Just show it to me. Just give it to me. Give me a land here. And then the rest of the game can play itself for the most part. I think one Reedry and a bunch of these creatures are enough. Shouldn't be auto-yielding here. Opponent's giving my opponent too much information. Unearthing an Oculus. Okay, now I can't win. I don't think this land is going to matter. I bet this is where we get the land, by the way. This is where the land comes in. It always happens. See? See? I told you. It always happens like that. One turn too late. This is a one turn too late deck. I got my Mistcaller one turn too late. I got everything one turn too late. Okay, I was thinking about it between games 2 and 3. Probably on the draw, I want Consign to Memory. And on the play, I want Counterspell. Because we'll have more mana. We won't be as crunched on mana as we are on the draw. And I do think Counterspell is just a superior card overall. But Consign to Memory has enough utility, I think. Especially when it lines up with maybe an Archon for one turn, which is like the very first turn I needed to interact. And also with Emperor of Bones. And not to mention there's niche uses versus Psychic Frog and Oculus. Just as like a tempo play. I will go first. This hand's not that great because of the Mutavault, but I don't want to throw it away either, so I'm going to keep it. So either we need to draw into more mana sources, like another blue source, or we need to draw into cards that can be played off of colorless mana. Like I can't even activate Mindspring with this mana base right now. Where's my Mistcallers? Where's Mistcaller? This is the matchup for it. This is its time. And nowhere to be seen. Thank God I don't have a modal face lands in my hand. Okay, you know all my secrets. You know all my secrets. Okay, rip that island. Rip that island. Island Reno. Do it. Justice. Justice, that's not it. Well, we have a Dismember. Okay. We have one unknown card in our hand. Delay it. Delay. Wait. Wait for me to get my third land. And then I'm going to kill it. I'm going to kill it. Yes. Yes. Ah. Nothing's working today. Everything I'm calling for never happens. Oh, you want to kill that too? Okay, fine. You're so rude, opponent. So rude. Okay, they're playing like they have an Oculus in hand. And they know I have Dismember, which is funny. So if they put a card in the graveyard, that's 5. If they play a fetch land, that's 6. That's enough, right? I think it's 6. Is it 6 or 8? I can't remember. Okay, so you're not going to get the Oculus this turn. You might get an Emperor of Bones, though. It's not useless. So you going to unearth that thing? Ah, why do you keep doing this? Okay, I'm going to just play with my card. Playing a card is better than playing no card. What looks most dangerous to your opponent? The Lords, the Tishana's Tidebind. I can't cast anything. I'm stuck on lands. Oh, they don't like the Tishana's Tidebinder. But they have nothing to do this turn. I just very strongly believe our opponent has Oculus, so I'm going to hold up Dismember for when they have the third land. I don't know what they're going to do about it, though. Because they could have taken it. Maybe they have a plan of just playing around it. Also, I can Dismember things like Emperor of Bones. Okay, they're stuck on lands. We're stuck on lands. Everyone's stuck on lands here. But they're still playing 2 cards a turn. I'm playing 1 clunky nonsense thing a turn. They found nothing useful. 2 Emperor of Bones in the graveyard. But they did find a Polluted Delta. Or they already had the Polluted Delta. And they just didn't want to go for Oculus because they know I have Dismember. They're just trying to draw it out of my hand. Find anything good? Nope. That's not good. Nothing useful. You're gonna just you're gonna kill this thing? Or you want to unearth something? Okay. Okay. It's very transparent. You wanted okay, you want to unlock your Oculus. I think we're in pretty good shape here. I think we're in I should have let it exile something, then kill it. Just to get stuff out of the graveyard. Would have been slightly cleaner play. Land. It's not exactly what I had in mind, to be honest. Okay, but, you know, maybe it will do. An Oculus can't kill us fast enough. Our opponent has 3 cards in hand. In 2 turns, we can take the Vial up to 2. Vial in a Master of the Pearl Trident, and then attack for victory. By the way, this deck has a lot of mana sources, including the, what's it called, Glasspool Mimics. Unearth Emperor of Bones again! Is there anything you can get down here? Tashan's Tidebinder? That's rude. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god! So frustrating. And then we're gonna lose the Tasha's Tide. Well, then the Tasha's Tidebinder is gonna be dead. I think the correct time to do it is now, not when I activate. Yeah, it's funny. You're very funny, opponent. You're very, very funny. You're so funny. Okay, now can I get a land? My life sucks. My life just sucks. Everything sucks. Actually, hold on. Maybe I should put this in play. Oh, sacrifice Tasha's Tidebinder at the end of turn. I'm just wondering, maybe I should put this in play. And the reason for that is if my opponent has Mystical Dispute, that's not good for me. Okay. Tasha's Tidebinder. So if our opponent has to play Emperor of Bones like that to like tempo out our Ether Vial, I think we're in good shape. Like, I think we're in very, very, very good shape. Like, even here, if we draw an island, we play Master of the Pearl Trident and win with Hexcatcher backup, because I can sack the Mutavault to protect versus a Fatal Push. Which in that case, they should just Fatal Push the creature right now. Or into the Floodmaw. They win. I still don't have lethal on the board. I have no means of actually attacking. What the hell? What the hell? Deck, what are you doing? How many lands? We have 17 lands, 3 Glasspool Mimics, 2 Sink into Stupors. It's 22 lands. It's a lot of lands. Okay, we're on the draw now, so we'll play Consign to Memory to counter those what's it called? The adapt, we can't counter adapt, but when the Emperor of Bones gets adapted and there are counters placed on it, then it triggers, and it's at that point that we can Consign to Memory away the creature that is trying to reanimate. Get rid of counterspell because we're on the draw, so we need to be a little bit more tighter on mana on the draw. Need to be a little bit more savvy. Get that counterspell out of here. Oh, 1 lander. I keep it. Just don't Thoughtseize me on turn 1. Thank God. Alright, no Thoughtseize. The worst case scenarios can't happen. I guess the worst case scenario could still be Faithless looting, dump Oculus, unearth Oculus. That's probably the worst case scenario. I am willing to let that happen. Put a card on top of their library. Got 2 Mistcallers. Now remember, Mistcaller does interact versus your Ether Vial, so always make sure you activate your Ether Vial and get your creature in play before you crack your Mistcaller. Psyche Frog. It's Psyche Frog. I have nothing to do here. Except get Mindspring in play. But next turn we'll Flood Pits this Psychic Frog down. If anything, it might have been good for me to miss the land drop. Because if I go for Flood Pits... Oh, this is beautiful. This is just a thing of beauty, people. It's so beautiful. I haven't been able to use Mistcaller in almost a decade in Modern. Almost a decade. What an absolute back-breaking tempo play. Now, they will get a card out of this, but we've got Flood Pits Drowner for the following turns. Can't punish that with a Tishana's Tidebinder, unfortunately. I guess we're just going to attack for 1, play Mistcaller. Hopefully it doesn't get eaten up by a Mystical Dispute. If it does, it's not the end of the world, because then they didn't fetch for a Surveil land, which I think is actually quite valuable to them. Because it keeps looking for gas and fills the graveyard for Oculus and so on. Into the Flood Maw, that's so funny. What do they need this for? Return target. So if the gift was promised, instead return target non-land permanent, so they can return anything. I have to look at these decks. Are like we're just really lucky not to run into any sweepers, because we haven't. They could play Kozilek's Return. That's not an unreasonable sweeper. All their decks survive. All the creatures survive it if the Emperor of Bones is big enough. Oh, but it'll kill the manifest creatures, I guess. That's a problem. Another Froggy Frog. Okay, you have another Froggy Frog. And you have less stuff in play. I think I have to keep the Vial on 2. I just have too many things on 2 at the moment. Even though I'd like to take the Vial up higher. So if Psychic Frog dies... Scalding Tarn gets fetched. They can get... they can get a lot of things. My options here are I can attack with everything, let there to be a block, activate, put a Hexcatcher in play, pump it up. Psychic Frog has to discard at least 1 card. Then we dismember. Then there are 2 cards left in our opponent's hand. One of them is very likely an Oculus, which I can't answer. Well, I can only answer it with a Dismember is the problem. It's the only thing I can answer that Oculus with. Does our opponent have Oculus? Maybe not. They're sort of playing like they're preparing to play an Oculus, but maybe not necessarily. But maybe they don't have that available yet. At the same time, I don't want to waste the Stern Scolding. That would suck too. Or maybe I attack with Flood Pits Drowner. Let our opponent discard 2 cards. Okay, maybe we do that. I'm going to trade a Psychic Frog for this Flood Pits Drowner. My good opponent. Because to survive the Flood Pits Drowner, our opponent would have to actually discard 2 cards. And I can deal with an Oculus. I do have a Tishana's Tidebinder here. So, but the thing is, the Vial's not on 3 yet. Oh. Okay, then. That solves that. Now, doesn't it? Okay, maybe I'm going to kill a Psychic Frog now. And then we'll save Silvergill Adept. Maybe we'll play a Silvergill. Maybe we should play Silvergill Adept right now. Do I need this Hexcatcher? Okay, let's get more information. Let's activate. I want to draw a card. If I draw a land, it opens our options. That's not what I wanted to see. Okay, I'm going to dismember this. Oculus be damned. Oculus be damned. So there's an Oculus. We will... it'll get 1 Manifest. That's for sure. Kept a card on top. They like it. It's a pretty good card. Oh, you're gonna thoughts? Oh, you want to unearth? Okay, well, that's what Mistcall is for. Okay, so they don't have Oculus? Or do they? Or they don't. Okay, we'll keep the Vial on 2 to get our Hexcatcher in play. Because I can't guarantee I'm going to draw a land out of any of this. Well, if our opponent has, like, no sweeper... Like, I don't know. Our opponent's playing like they have no sweepers. I'll just put the Hexcatcher in play and just deal maximum damage. Normally, I don't play like that. You've watched me play for years. I would never make a stupid play like that, but... it just feels like... It just doesn't feel like they've got sweepers. They just have, like, spot removal. And then soon enough, we'll be able to Tishana's Tidebinder the stupid frog. Give me something I can Tishana's Tidebinder, damn it. Okay, now this finally goes to 3. After all our patience. I don't even know if I'm going to play this thing. Okay, let's attack. If our opponent's drawing cards, not playing lands, that means they have counterspells in hand. Like, I think a lot of counterspells. Like, at least, like, Mystical Dispute, which would hit a Stern Scolding. I'll play another Ether Vial. And who knows, maybe this game will still go long. Who knows what this game is doing. Or maybe our opponent is saving up cards in hand, specifically for, like, a giant Psychic Frog. Another Emperor of Bones on in the graveyard. Okay, we're gonna let that hit, and then we're gonna Tishana's Tidebinder it. Hopefully we'll teach it a lesson. A lesson I'll never forget. So if they want to pump it up, now's the time to do it. Okay, they just scooped the match. Okay, it was really awkward, super awkward on mana, but you know what helped us win? Our 1-drops. Being super mana efficient ended up winning this game. And also Mistcaller, better positioned than it looks. Now is the time for Mistcaller. It's Mistcaller's time to shine. Okay, that was round 3. Not a very diverse looking metagame, and we're going to move on to round 4. In round 4, we won the die roll. Our hand curves out perfectly. We're going to keep it. Turn 1, Mistcaller. Turn 2, Master of the Pearl Trident. Turn 3, maybe Master of the Pearl Trident, hold up Stern Scolding, or have Tishana's Tidebinder up. The choice will be ours. Our opponent keeps also at 7. Alright, go Mistcaller. Grixis Reanimator again? Is it going to be again? We've seen 3. Oh my, are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Bloodstained Mire? Is this 4 in a row? What happened? What happened? I don't get... What is going on here? Okay, this is a Steam Vents. This might be a different deck. What is going on here? Faithless Looting. We got the main deck answer. I should really see if they have any main deck removal. A lot of Reanimator decks I shouldn't say a lot. There's a good chunk of Reanimator decks. They have like no removal in the main deck. I just want to say historically, okay, they have an Emperor of Bones and an Archon of Cruelty. It's very rude, opponents. Very, very rude. I have Dismember for things and stuff. Okay, I think this is a decent time to tap out now. Let's get our Master of the Pearl Trident in play. If our opponent plays like Psychic Frog, we can Dismember it. But most importantly, if our opponent goes like Unearth the Emperor of Bones, I think I'm going to let it resolve, and then we'll Dismember the Emperor of Bones later, after the fact. Faithless Looting is fine. Although I have a feeling they want to bait. See, they want to bait our Mistcaller. So, oh, they have 2 Archon of Cruelties. That's pretty cruel. So what I would allow is they go Unearth on Emperor of Bones. They're going to eat up an Archon of Cruelty. We Dismember it. And we could also still, like, Mistcaller that, but we have options. Oh, they actually, what they would do is they'd Unearth the Abhorrent Oculus, and I would Mistcaller that. I think that's a bit too strong. Given our... maybe not, actually. With our board, maybe not. Because I have another Lord here. We attack for 6. We're attacking for lethal. You don't go after the Mistcaller? What is the... This is Bizarro World today. Oh, we still... Okay, we know the land. Maybe they just don't have a Reanimator yet. Okay, now we're reanimating. Emperor... Okay, that's fine. That can resolve. You go Getsy something from the graveyard. It's going to be an Archon of Cruelty. That's totally fine with me. So we can Dismember this, and we just drew another Mistcaller, which really should just do our opponent away completely. So if they reanimate, we crack a Mistcaller, attack for 4. They reanimate again, crack the other Mistcaller. It's probably a Psychic Frog because there's nothing else they can do. They just can't do anything at this board state. Oh, now I draw the 3rd land when it's like sort of useless. I'm just going to attack for 4. I could attack with everything. Psychic Frog blocks. They activate it to Shana's Tidebinder, but that's a bit too cute. Let's just play it out like this. Looks like GG here. GG thanks to Mistcaller. GG thanks to a lot of things, really. The Oculus. I mean... no. In my opinion. I'll just play a Tishana's Tidebinder at end of turn. Okay, no, I won't do it at end of turn. I'll do it when this thing hits me. Yeah. Wow, is this like a buy or something? This matchup a buy? Wait, am I gonna play against this like 5 times in a row? Okay, we're on the draw, so we'll bring in the nothing. Yeah, that's right. So we side out Consign on the play, bring in Counterspell, and on the draw, just leave it like that. I don't think they have enough blue cards for Mystical Dispute. It's just gonna be Psychic Frog and their Mystical Disputes for the most part. Oh no, but also Oculus. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. So this hits... Oculus is not nothing. And I can hit it for 1 mana. Maybe that's better than Consign. So Psychic Frog, Oculus. I really have to look at their deck. Psychic Frog, Oculus, and other Mystical Disputes. You know what? I think I'm sold. I think that's enough to bring in Mystical I think probably this is what it's for. Or the Consign to Memory. And then on the play, I'll bring in Counterspell because that just hits everything. So it'll just be slightly weaker to Emperor of Bones, I guess, for the most part. His hand has no land. Mulligan. His hand arguably has too many lands, but I'll keep it. I'll dump an island. Hope for the best here. I mean, if Mare Regery can land and stick, then it can deal with a good chunk of their board. Thoughtseize? You want to Thoughtseize me? Thoughtseize a face. Let's Thoughtseize. Behold. Behold my cards. I have so many very beautiful cards. You know what? I felt like they're going to take the Hexcatcher. I actually don't care about that card as much. I care about my Rejury. Care about the Rejury a lot. Let's see if we can punish the crap out of our opponent for taking that card. You're going to get punished. Punished, opponent. I mean, if you don't Archon me, this Rejury is really powerful. Especially if I start copying it. But you did get an Archon. A Psyche Frog. Unearth the Psyche Frog? Unearth Psyche Frog. Okay, that's fine with me. As long as you're not unearthing the other thing. Oh, we did get a Hexcatcher. And I probably have to play it too. I also don't mind if it gets Mystical Disputed. If that's just a thing that happens. Because it won't... That means the Rejury doesn't get disputed. And I think the Rejury is more important. No, it looks like it cannot stop an Archon. I'm gonna allow this. You know, again, I believe in the Rejury more than I believe in the Hexcatcher. I believe in it, and they took it. They took my Hexcatcher. Or what does this mean? Does it mean we're gonna see Archon now? Okay, that's a problem. Okay, maybe I did want that Hexcatcher. They were just preparing for the worst. Okay, this has to resolve. So now this is where bad things happen to us. Okay, we'll get rid of a Glasspool Mimic. So what if I played Hexcatcher? They don't go for that move this turn. They wait till next turn. Our position doesn't get that much better. Because then I would play Rejury this turn. They play Archon next turn. I sack the Hexcatcher. But they haven't attacked yet. I guess delaying it one turn. Oh no, sorry. The Rejury wouldn't happen because if they Thoughtseize me, they take the Hexcatcher. Sorry, they don't take the Hexcatcher, but they take the Rejury. Well then. Well, this changes nothing. I can't deal with this stupid Archon. Okay. Resolved Archon is the most brutal of all the cards. It's the most brutal. It's their best outcome. Okay, we'll bring in Counterspell and Side Out. This Dispute. This is just catch-all versus every single card in the deck. No lands again. Lands. Enough lands. Good enough for me. Keep, I guess... dump a Counterspell. I don't like that we don't have a turn 1 play, but whatever, we gotta live with it, I guess. Gloomlake Verge pass. It's actually possible I'm not going to do anything on turn 2. Okay, I'm definitely not going to do anything on turn 2. They're trying to go for a dispute here. Trying to dispute something. Dispute my life. We'll just pass. Oh, they could be going for Thought Scour too. That's fair. That's fine. They got an Emperor of Bones out there. I'm really hoping that they play like Psychic Frog here and we just counterspell it. That would make me a happy camper. Looks like that's what's gonna happen. Oh! Well, we might as well use our mana. And that's our catch-all card. Oh! Oh! Most definitely did not see that coming. Spell Pierce versus the deck with most... Well, I mean, we got some spells, I guess. They're trying to nail a turn 1... No, they can't nail turn 1 Vial. There is no turn 1 Vial. You can exile cards from a graveyard. You want to take my counterspell? You can take anything. We have Dismember. That is very good. But how do I use it now? Or do I want to use it right now? Yeah, I think we're going to go Silvergill Adapt into Master. Because if our opponent somehow plays what's it called on turn? Let's say they play Oculus somehow here. I guess it's not possible. Faithless Looting is fine. If they find an Archon, try to exile it in response, they'll dismember the Emperor of Bones. At least attempt to. They did find an Archon. Found a fetch land. Okay, so we're going to be playing this game with the Archon of Cruelty and the Emperor of Bones this entire game. It's going to be tough. How do we win this game? The Emperor of Bones game. They don't want to play into Dismember. But at the same time, well, so the unfortunate thing for us is they can wait better. So they just need they need 4 lands in play and then we're doomed for the most part. But I can put a lot of creatures in play. So let's start off with, oh no, okay, if I attack with Silvergill Adept, oh yeah, if you block and we just trade, that's fine. But if we block, you fetch, get a Blood Crypt or something, and adapt, then I dismember in response. So that's also fine. But if I attack, that might represent that I have removal of some sort. You know what I mean? The good news is that this thing is under an Archon. That's some good news. Okay, let's again do the same line as before. And this time, and I have a land in my hand, but our opponent doesn't know that. They don't know that we have a land in hand. Okay, I could just go for the Dismember right now. And waiting so long is making this worse. I should do it. But if I do and they have Spell Pierce, that would really suck. Fetch. Okay, I'm just going to go for it. Because if I just let them get the land, that's going to be a problem for me. Like, even if they go for the activation, I think it's a problem. Because they don't have to. They'll just get the land, sit it in play, wait till their next turn. And that's my problem. Okay, now I can basically empty my hand. Next turn we might have a pretty good turn between activating Mindspring Merfolk and playing a Master of the Pearl Trident. So we'll draw a good chunk of cards out of this, even if they get an Archon in play somehow. Well, actually, Archon plus Emperor of Bones, that would wipe out actually both the cards in my hand. If they have enough mana for everything. Like Unearth, Faithless Looting, play land, Unearth Emperor of Bones, Faithless Looting like Archon in the graveyard, suck it up, adapt. That would all work out. The Troll of Khazad-dûn. For more Swamp. Swamp entered battlefield. Sorry, enters the revealed card zone. Swamp enter battlefield. It's not just any regular Swamp, it is Modern Horizons Swamp. No! Why? Stop it. Don't you ever want to not Thoughtseize an opponent? Look at your life total. Look what you're doing to yourself here. No! Well, we're still attacking for 6. Like, we have a good board for the most part. Oh, and it just got a little bit better. Okay, we'll just empty our hand here. Attack for maximum damage. Going to 4. We're going wide. What is this all about? Oculus? That's not enough, right? It needs to be Oculus plus Fatal Push. Because you can make 2 blockers. I attack for 4. I attack for 4 with no matter what. Oh, I guess you Fatal Push in advance before blocks. That works. Now maybe it doesn't. I'm just going to go all out and attack. No, yeah, now it definitely works because I can sack the Mara Readery to counter the Fatal Push or whatever. Okay, we won the match. We are 4 for 4 versus this new Grixis Reanimator. I mean, Merfolk, is it the hard counter to this Reanimator metagame? I would say yes. Okay, we're going for a 5-0 coming up in match 5. Round 5, we won the die roll. This is close. It's a lot of mana. We have nothing to do on turn 1, which is not that big of a deal. Nothing to do on turn 2. We have 2 Mutavaults. I think I have to mulligan this. We have to do better. This is a lot better. This is a ton better. Yeah, we'll keep this. A lot of 1-drops here. I sort of want to keep all the Mind Springs to maximize how much we draw. I sort of want to dump the Dismember, because if it's not a matchup for Dismember, Dismember's going to suck. Let's maximize on our 1-drop, shall we? Yeah, let's just do that. I might regret that, but whatever. Mind Spring is just going to solve our problems. I guess alternatively we could have got rid of Mistcaller, but, you know. Merfolk always feels better when we're going all in on creatures. Okay, interesting. Godless Shrine. Interesting. Let's see what happens here. They might take the Mistcaller. If it's Godless Shrine, it's probably Aspen. You took my land? That does make my Mind Springs a lot weaker. It does make them weaker. Makes curving a little bit more awkward. What is this deck? Psyche Frog. Another Psyche Frog deck. Okay, so it's probably, maybe it's Asper Reanimator or something. Okay, we're gonna make a move, actually, that I haven't made in a long... No, actually I shouldn't make a move. No, okay, that doesn't make any sense. I was going to, like, upkeep, activate Vial, take it up to 2, but it doesn't make any sense, because if I draw a 2-drop, then I can't play it, which is might as well just cast Mistcaller. I'm just gonna cast our Mistcaller here. Lord? Oh! Well, damn. Wasn't thinking about that. Okay, how many cards do you know about in my hand? So if I dismember this, you dump 3 cards. Ugh. What if I double block this? You have 5 cards in hand. I double block. You could also ephemerate the Psychic Frog. If I dismember... It requires how many cards? It requires all 4 cards to save it, actually. Okay, do you want to lose all 4 cards? I could, like, chump block for a little while, actually. I think I'd be fine with that. We have to do this before they ephemerate us online, too. Like, 3 cards doesn't do it. It has to be all 4. And at that point, it's sort of like a chump blocking machine. Is it worth it? Is it worth it, opponent? It is worth it. Oh, sorry. It's not going to chump block because they can exile the cards. That's okay. This is a decent... What's it called? 4 for 2? Super 2-1. They got rid of another Psychic Frog. So, in some capacity, this Dismember... That's a 0-1. Alright, let's attack. Let's attack with 1 creature. Both creatures. Okay, I'll attack with both creatures. No. Okay, I'll attack with 1. And I'm going to threaten to block with my other one. But I may not. I might not do that. This is a big chunky frog, one way or another. It's 5/6. Okay, gain flying. That's sort of what I wanted to happen. I wanted to force my opponent to start using their graveyard. One way or another. Okay, I think what we want to draw is a 3-drop. Because I can play the Regery, hard cast Mistcaller, untap the Vial, and then sort of get another 3-drop in play. And that would be great. Okay, nothing is happening here on the ground. If we draw a land, that would be fine too. Wrong land though. That was the wrong land. what to do here. How is this, a 5/6? Well, I can jump block with the Mutavault. I think that's okay. Okay, let's get in for damage. And I will maximize the damage. I'll file in a Rejury here. So we play Mutavault. If I had a second Rejury in play, I could untap the island and float a bunch of mana, but I can't do that, so we're just going to play this, untap. Actually, I should keep the I should keep the Mutavault. Okay, I'm gonna untap with a Mindspring Merfolks. We can jump block with that for a little while. Maybe. Because if I draw, say, the Vial's on 3, so if I draw, not Silver Gillidat, but Hexcatcher, Flood Pit's Drowner, we actually need this Mutavault mana. Now, they could be drawing, like, Card Disruption. What could they be drawing? Card Disruption, maybe Solitude with no white card? This could be Fatal Push. Oh, you're just trying to fill the graveyard too. Go to the Sky. That makes some sense too. Relic. Oh, this is a Ketramos deck. It's Esper Ketramos. Because only Ketramos would play this card. Do they even want to attack me? I'm attacking for lethal next turn. It's like, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But I guess from their perspective, I could just tap this thing down, swing for a ton, and they're dead anyway. Alright, you want to concede? I'll attack with everything. I'm ready. My Merfolk, they are ready. Nope. This is the worst. That was the worst draw. All right. I think I'm in pretty good shape unless they play Solitude. Which in that case, I'll gain a little bit of life. Ephemerate. All right, that's funny. 'Cause that's the point of this card. So they will save themselves. That is not what I was expecting. Well, it doesn't matter, though. Oh, no, it does matter. Oh, my God. So I can attack for 7, but it's reset. So it's just a 1/2, but they have 1 card in hand. Okay, so they can block Rejury. They take 7, go to 3. This is crazy. Crazy game. Discard the Witch Enchanter. They considered this the entire way. Okay, but they still can't attack, or they die. You want to rebound that? No, I didn't think you want to rebound that. They can still fly over. At a moment's notice. Okay, that was a sign of weakness, if I ever saw it. Okay, now I think if we draw anything but an Ether Vial, it's valuable here. Anything but an Ether Vial. Okay, that is valuable because that allows us to pump up our Mindspring Merfolks at the very least. Is there any reason to do it now? I think the answer is no. So I will, because if I draw Tishana's Tidebinder, I don't think there's any reason to do it now. So you can block my Mutavault. I'm just not going to do anything. I'll just pass. They'll take 2, go to 1, but I think that's too dangerous. Too dangerous of a spot. Okay, let's draw some cards. Mistcaller came in clutch there. That was a huge, huge swing for us. Drew a land. So now we've got effectively lethal in our hands. Ooh, it's super lethal too. Yeah. You kill, block, take 2. I play Silvergill Adept. That should still be good enough to win. Actually, no. If you kill something, I can play Hexcatcher and probably win from there. Yeah, let's just send in the team. Okay, pass priority. They die. They wanted more information. I didn't give it to them because it wasn't necessary. Okay, so the Esper Blink deck. Now, this is one of the reasons why we have Counterspell, because it counters anything in this deck. I believe Mystical Dispute hits, like, basically nothing. I mean, we didn't see enough of their deck, but I think it's just for there's just Psychic Frog in this deck, so I don't really want to bring in Mystical Dispute. Consigned Memory can be very good, though, because this is definitely going to be a Solitude deck. Dismember is very good. For Emperor of Bones, Stern Scolding is going to be very good. A lot of cards very good. But we have to take out cards one way or another. Hexcatcher is not that good. Not a fan. And also, I want to say they don't play Bowmasters, but I don't remember. When I was analyzing the potential matchups, I didn't see. Okay, we'll bring in the last Consigned to Memory. I don't remember. Like, I built this deck knowing that Bowmasters wasn't that big of a deal, because Bowmasters is just not a thing. It's just not a thing. We have 28 cards. Okay, it's important to note we have 28 creatures in the deck, but 3 of them are Glasspool Mimics. That means there's 5 real creatures in the deck, which is good enough, in my opinion. This is a blue deck, so Master of the Pearl Trend is going to shine a little bit here. Hand looks great. We'll actually have Counterspell up by turn 2 with Vial. It's been a while since I played Counterspell. Been a super hot minute. They put a card on top of their deck. Shaz Tidebinder. There's a decent risk this gets Thought Seized, so I'm going to bolt myself in advance because I really don't want them to Thought Seize that. It like really dismantles the hand, or it makes it a lot worse. There you go. That's the Nikachu skill right there. All right, by all means, it's all yours. Take whatever you want. Leave whatever you don't want. And this is and one of the reasons we're going down the Silvergill Adept route is specifically more for matchups like this. They're trying to win so hard on card advantage that you need to grind it back somehow with like Silvergill Adept. And I think a pretty good equalizer is also Mist Caller. Like when they try to ephemerate something, you just pop the Mist Caller and that thing is gone. Problem solved. Okay, so they know about these cards. We'll play them just easily. Just play this thing. Show the Mind Spring. Dismember is good. They play Ketramos. That's gone. Overlord of the Baelmerk. We don't have Tishana up yet, which is very frustrating. What did they get? Returns Flicker Wisp. Okay. I think I am not. Do I want to add something? So use Solitude, exile something, ephemerate, get rid of something, and then I have nothing in play. I'm just trying to, like, you look how they positioned this hand. They very specifically didn't want to tap out because they're leaving a white source up. It could be Fatal Push. I actually think it's ephemerate for Solitude. I'm going to wait until my turn. I actually probably am not going to play this Mind Spring immediately. I mean, I'm going to wait on that card. Okay, I'm going to take this file up to 2, and we'll have Tishana's Tidebinder up. That's a nice draw. We'll attack for R2, and we'll pass the turn. And we'll try to win this game before this Overlord comes down. Because I want this to like, let's say they evoke Solitude in play. In response to the Ephemerate, I really want to dismember it. I didn't play the Mind Spring because I want to hold up Tishana's Tidebinder this turn. For cards like this, of course. At ETB, actually, okay, so at ETB, we want to hit the land. Okay, let's silver. I think they know about the Tishana's Tidebinder. I'm not 100% certain though. We're gonna draw a card. Ooh, I should have done that before. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna Tishana's Tidebinder this thing. And certainly hope that they don't have another land drop to ephemerate it. Which apparently they do not. And I do believe it is time to wail on their life total. We can dismember this. Oh my god, we're just in the driver's seat now. Yeah, let's dismember this. Pay the life. Maximize damage or not? Actually, yeah, we can try to maximize damage. We'll put a Lord in play. I have enough counter magic in my hand that I'm pretty confident. Holding up both Counterspell and Stern Scolding. Probably that doesn't matter. Yeah, we'll let that resolve. What do they get? Ophelia? I think there's just Ophelia to go get. And they resign. And look at that! Versus all the evil decks in the metagame. Where's our glorious victory? Just says DB Nikachu wins match 2. Oh, there we go. This is usually what happens. Instantaneous. Oh, look at that. Look in the card viewer. They give you the Magic competitive trophy over there. We got a bunch of stuff, which is useless to me because this is a god account. It's not really my stuff. It's Daybreak's game stuff. 5-0. Not very. Honestly, though, this was a pretty crappy league. I didn't learn anything. What did we learn about engineered explosives? Nothing. We weren't up against any Urza Saga decks. We weren't up against Hammer Time. I did get to play. Okay, we did get to play against the new hotness, I guess. So if you want to know, does Merfolk have a good matchup versus Grixis Reanimator? The answer is yes. You don't need any sideboard hate. Like, you don't need any graveyard hate. See any graveyard hate in my sideboard? Nothing. And we won 4-0, and very comfortably, I might add. Very largely thanks to Mistcaller. But also, again, I do not want a 2-for-1 myself. There is no subtleties in this deck, no Flare of Denial, and I have 2 Force Negations, mostly for Amulet Titan and Neoform decks. But like, I'm trying to be more on the 1-for-1, because if you 2-for-1 yourself over and over again, you're going to lose to all those other decks. Like, you can't outvalue them. But I think if we're on the 1-for-1 route, sometimes you get them. Sometimes you get them, like with Mistcaller, or they play a Solitude, try to ephemerate, and then you dismember it, and then so they spent 3 cards, they only hit one, they only got 2 of yours. Was very happy, and again, no, thanks to no Bowmasters or very little Bowmasters in the metagame, we can leverage maximum 1 toughness creatures, Mind Spring, Mistcaller, Flood Pit's Drowner, Silvergill Adept, Hexcatcher, and all. And I think Rejury played a little bit of a part. Could have been bigger. And actually, I'm very happy that we had the Master of the Pearl Trident in the deck for the Island Walk. I don't know, is this deck actually any good? We're gonna have to. This league didn't really prove much. It was a very narrow portion of the metagame. Well, it can beat the new decks. What I was happy about is that we crushed that Esper Blink deck, which is really popular, and a lot of people in the Merfolk community hate that deck. And I'm like, it is. In my opinion, it's a good matchup. If you build the deck like this, I think you're favored. In my opinion. If you go the 2-for-1 route, I mean, they're super favored. And if you're too clunky, they're super favored. But if you're really mana efficient, I think you're in the driver's seat. All right, well, we'll definitely play this again. I still have not learned anything about engineered explosives, although I'm pretty hopeful that it's good. Give a thumbs up if you like this deck. If you want to see more of it. Take care of my fish fam. 5-0 for Merfolk, still has it even in 2025.